Right, so welcome back to part 2 of my turtle craze. I originally thought this was going to be a one-part video, but there are just so many figures. And halfway through the first video, I realized it's not going to be possible. So let's try to do this in as little parts as we can, right? So what I was going over last time was Shredder. Yeah, Shredder, he's originally only like 3 different colors: silver, brown, and a very different, not very different, but it's very subtle. It's purple. It's the same purple on his kneecaps, and yeah, those are the only 2 purple spots. So his boots were brown originally, but then I painted them with some acrylic black, and even the strap on his back wasn't really just brown. So to bring it out, I just painted it black, but that didn't really bring it out. It's like putting mud on mud, so you could barely tell the difference. Yeah, see, it's very subtle differences on this guy, but he is awesome looking. He's nowhere near as fierce looking as, well, fierce I mean as in fierce, as this was, the 2003. Look at its pose. It's just fierce, all written all over it. Gotta say, this is the gayest looking Shredder. And I don't mean that as in stupid, I mean that as in actual, very feminine like pose. But this 2012 Shredder also has that stupid action pose in his right leg. His right foot, it's like curved, so he can't stand up straight without wobbling. And it takes some work to get these figures to stand up. Once you do, they look great. So he's always got to have his legs like spread apart a little bit. One forward and one back. His eyes are all white. Oops, can't really see that, can you? Yeah, well, both his eyes are white, but in the cartoon we could see that one is white and one has a pupil. So his 8-inch action figure, 8 or 7-inch action figure, is more accurate to the show, but it's aimed more for its action feature. It's speaking like hi-ya feature. Don't know what it's called, but that's what it does. Now, moving on to the actual turtles. Let's go through them quick. I know in my last review of the Classics Raphael, I said I was not going to touch these guys because they were so kitty, but now that I actually picked them up, I retract everything. Well, they are still really aimed towards kids, but that's what makes them so fun. These are what I'm going to play with. The collector's one, well, collectors, you know, the Classics line, that is for collectors, and you just pose them and set them aside and make them look pretty. But these ones, they look so good, and they're meant for play. These guys can really take a beating. I haven't owned anything this like kiddie-ish in a long time, and well, kiddie-ish, I mean, you know, everything I collect is toys, but these ones are the most playability. Like, I could throw these around and not really care. They will survive. They each come with their, you know, iconic weapons. Michelangelo here has his nunchucks. They are actually originally all molded in all orange, but I painted it silver, so now it looks great. And I think it's like a hark back to the original line where they had a whole plethora of weapons. They each come with a sheet of weapons, different array of weapons. Like, he comes with nunchucks with a sickle and chain connected to it, but everything's molded in orange. So this is the only one I have. I'm going to leave all the other ones on the trees. They actually sort of store on the back here on this very pliable looking like holsters. Each one's different. All the molds are very different. Unlike the Classics line, they're all the same. This one, each one is a different mold, which is awesome. He's the shortest. Michelangelo he's the lightest color of all of them. He's very neon green looking. He's got, the turtles this time have a very like flat and flush shell compared to their earlier incarnations. Like, this is sort of like a leatherback turtle, and you know, these ones just stick out so far out. But this one's so flat, so this one looks really nice. I really like what they're doing with this one. This one's really stylistic. They just look so different from their other iterations. It's very refreshing. The only thing that's common throughout the 4 turtles are that they have the same knee pads, elbow pads, wraps, and legs around the wraps, except Leonardo, who on this side has white ones. I guess that's to differentiate him as the leader, I suppose. But yeah, so it's basically the same. It's the same exact articulation. You know, ball joint shoulders, hinged elbows, wrist swivels, neck joint, ball joint, backward and forward, knee, and swivel. Nice thing is that this crotch shell piece is actually on a hinge, and it's very pliable plastic, so it's not going to get in the way when you start. See, you could get it up and it'll move out of the way. It's awesome. His is a sheath with the sword. These are his main weapons. They come out. It's very soft and flexible, and like the old vintage one, it actually comes off. Oh, nope, I guess not. Well, it does just sort of move, but it doesn't actually come off. I'm thinking of the classics ones. Those came off. But yeah, see, the toys actually look nothing like their cartoon counterparts. So these actually stand out. I don't know if the difference between the actual toys and the show is supposed to be also harking back towards the original vintage line, because you guys know how those didn't look anything like their toy counterparts. It's the same with these guys. Look nothing like their cartoon. Except the only thing that's the same is their body build and their statures. Michelangelo the shortest, Donatello the tallest, Leonardo and Raphael right in the middle. But these guys just look phenomenal. Raphael, same stuff, he's the darkest. His size plug-in on the back. One colored plastic. No, it's all the same. The bandanas are all very action posed like. You can't move them. Donatello's has his bow staff on the back here, and it's supposed to slide in like this, in and out of this holster. But this is one warning I have for you guys. This thing, mine just broke completely. It's like actually like a little peg, and it just holds on by friction. I tried super gluing it, but it doesn't hold. So I just plug it back on there, and voila, it stays on, but not very well. And that's what I'm talking about. Like they have their flaws. This thing just pops right off. So watch out for that. Be careful. Yeah, he's the tallest. He's got the most serene looking face, even though he's supposed to be missing a tooth. I kind of would preferred if he had a smile like his brothers and had a tooth missing. That would kind of been cool. I know that the other figures have that, but yeah, there's a couple more things I want to go over before I call it quits. So this video's end, and we'll get back on part 3.